What's up, guys? It is Soleb back again for another episode of the Second Opinion Podcast, episode number 352. I am joined by one singular partner in crime today, Toaster McGee. What's up, Toaster?
What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Not bad.
All right, well, thanks for coming on the show. We were supposed to have Skelly as well, but he had said that he has something going on.
He apparently has a social life.
Yeah, he has
on a Tuesday.
Life, and we don't.
I bet you he's playing darts or bowling. See, I think bowling is his kink now.
Yeah, he's like smoking a cigar, you know. But yeah,
like wide collared polyester shirts. Probably like puke yellow and like wood paneling brown.
Doing, he's like, just don't tell the family you saw me over here, okay? I'm like, why are you talking like that? But yeah, so we're back for another episode of the Second Opinion Podcast, episode number 352. It's going to really start hitting heavy this year. We're going to be doing a lot of content creation, like I said the other day, on social media. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff on Cinelinks, on the YouTube pages. And of course, one of those things that we're going to be doing a lot of as well is doing our podcast. So we're going to have it in audio format. We're also going to be doing the live podcast format as well. But I am so glad to be joined by Toaster McGee today, and we got some awesome stuff to talk about. It was actually because of Toaster that we did this episode today, because Toaster had commented about some stuff that Ubisoft had said. It was like, you fucking serious? And I was like, podcast soon.
Toaster's gonna have things to say.
Yeah. But so as we usually do, we're going to go ahead and get down into it. And as the little lower third down here says, life's a bitch, and how about you? So we're going to go ahead and get into it. How things been, Toaster? How's it going up there in the north, you Yankee?
Well, there's snow, so it's hard to pack. I can't fucking do it. Sorry.
So what's been going on, man?
Nothing much. Honestly, holidays came and went.
Yeah.
Got some cool Lego stuff.
Yeah.
And some, things that you need as a barely adult male, I guess. And I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate. Like all I've been playing is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
If you're a completionist, don't play that fucking game, because you will never finish it. Because you will keep restarting, because you reach a point in Act 3 where you realize you cannot logistically do every single fucking quest in Baldur's Gate. You can't. You need to pick. You need to pick a companion storyline and stick with that one all the way through. Because I have now swapped out Gale and Astarion, vampire fuckboy, as I call him. I literally am just rotating through. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to fight Gortash. All right, I better grab Karlach. Oh, I'm gonna go do this. I should probably grab Astarion. Like, I must have gone back to, like, Orin at this point is like, fuck, I asked you to go do this like 4 days ago. Spoiler alert, kidnapped party member. They must not care about you.
Now, this is not the same Toaster that I know. Okay.
What do you mean?
Don't sit there and tell me that you cannot complete something. I mean, it may take you a couple of years.
No, because see what happens.
You're going to get it done.
You realize that, like, I don't know. Act 3 is very overwhelming. If you're I mean, the game itself is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's the other reason I haven't finished it, because I really just don't want it to stop.
I understand.
But it's the same quests. So,
yeah. Well, have you been playing anything other than Baldur's Gate?
Not really.
No. Jesus. Why do you have to say it like that? No, actually, I haven't been back at work since release date. I'm like, Jesus, fuck. How much time did you have off?
I actually had a week off. Like, I had the week between Christmas and New Year's off. It was amazing.
There you go.
No, I mean I've been playing like little stuff.
Yeah.
Symphony of the Night again. I picked that up.
Yeah.
Vigil, The Longest Night on the Nintendo Switch. Blasphemous. But I can only play those kind of like I can only play Blasphemous for so long because the Nintendo Switch Lite is in fact very light
Yeah.
and possibly aerodynamic, depending on the force with which it's just thrown across
You'll be
the room.
sticking out of your fucking
Because
wall.
you're, playing a freaking 2D side scroller that's like inspired by Dark Souls. That should be your like, nope, not playing this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, and CyberPunk.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get like this is gonna sound bad. I'm trying to get back into Spider-Man 2. And I just know that game is just gonna take my emotions and just break them on the rocks of fuck you.
Why?
Dude, like the last one, like the ending of the original Spider-Man on PS4, I was crying. My wife had to come and check on me. Like,
yeah,
I was ugly choke crying. Like it was bad.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have that moment in this game,
right? And I'm sick of that fucking moment, man. I just like, just let me.
I just want to swing around the city without having emotional
up criminals
attack.
and swing, and not have this fucking teen Dawson's drama creek in New York City.
Oh shit.
And I at this point I need to probably start Starfield all over again because I'm actually waiting for that huge patch.
Yeah, that big patch is supposed to be coming in soon. Did you do New Games Plus mode yet?
No, I haven't. Like, dude, I honestly have probably played Starfield for maybe 3 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Because Baldur's Gate came out, and
dude, you would love Starfield, man.
I'm sure I would, but
yeah, New Games Plus mode is like changes the fucking game, man. God.
And plus, like, I heard like this weird thing that like you have to like continually beat the game, like you purposely have to start it all over again after going.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. You have your moments.
Kurt Russell, and Daniel Jackson.
You have your moments to where you could choose like to okay, well that's it, or you can like in New Games Plus mode it does add more context to really what the game is about. So, well, me gaming wise, I've been playing a lot of video games recently. I'm reviewing a little small indie game that's supposed to be a classic boomer shooter. It's called Witch Rise. It comes out PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, all that other stuff on the 26th. So be on the lookout for that. It's very, it's kind of like it's almost an E for everyone kind of first person shooter, boomer shooter experience. It's almost a great game for introductory level people that have never played like first person shooters. Like I could see my son playing it and kind of getting the perspective of like, oh, well, this is what dad's always playing and ripping people in half. So it's a cute little game, but I'll have my review up for that pretty soon. Hopefully I'll be doing my review for Tekken 8 and Suicide Squad as well in the next week or so.
I'm looking forward to that. I noticed that a certain person we're friends with, shout out Shoplast, was at a thing. For a thing.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him about said thing, and I was like, "Hey, I don't want any deets because you're probably signed to NDA to sell your soul, and you're probably a huge, there's probably a huge embargo."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I just want to know, did you like it?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Cool." And that's it. Like that's it. So on that, I'm buying your game, Rockstar.
There's it seems like there's been a little bit of a back and forth between a lot of like the game influencers and journalists and stuff like that. Some people, even like IGN, have said, well, we got to play it early and we didn't like it and all that stuff. But then you see some of these people coming out and like calling out some of these reviewers. Like one of the reviewers was like, well, we were battling the Flash and he was so all over the place. There was only so many moments that the Flash would stop, and then you had to like unload on him as much as you possibly could. But there wasn't ever a moment where he's like, oh, like a all for one moment where he's like, oh my god, okay, he's knocked down. Everybody go over there and do as much damage as possible. But then the guy that was reacting to it was like, he's the fucking Flash. He's the fastest character in the DC universe. Like, what do you expect? He's the fucking Flash, and you're going after him as fucking Harley Quinn. What did you think? She was going to run as fast as him and punch him in the face? Like,
did you get that Injustice pill? Did you think that was in there? Like,
yeah, man. So I'm excited about it. I mean, the graphical presentation of it looks good, and Rocksteady, they always do a good story. And from what I've heard, from the people that I know that like it, the bits that they have either played or checked out and stuff like that, I think it's going to be a more solid experience than Gotham Knights. So, which is saying something. So, but I've been playing that. Also, playing Hogwarts Legacy. Me and my wife kind of been going back and forth through that. And I started playing Lego City. I guess it's just Lego City. I don't know. It came out on PlayStation Plus.
Builders?
Huh?
Lego City Builders?
No, it's a game that came out in 2017. It's like Lego City something. It's about this cop, and whatever. But I've been playing that with my son. He's bro. Listen, anytime there's
I'm laughing now. Picture like a hardcore detective Lego game.
Oh, bro, it's so funny. He gets off the boat at the beginning, and he's like, I came back, because of her, and it shows this like, little glimpse of this woman, and then it shows the mayor, and she's like, thank you for coming back. The city is ridden of crime. And she's like, I mean, look at this, and it shows like her car. They replace her wheels with like regular Lego bricks, and then the cop doesn't have a shirt on. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, I love playing those games with my son. I love playing those games with my son, and he's
car get its wheels taken away, replaced with and now I've lost my shirt.
He's a big Legos fan. So anytime there's something that's like Lego theme, and he sees it on like the PlayStation or the Switch or something like that, he's like, I've got to play this. I got to play it. So it's been really cool. And I mean, with the kids being the age they are now, like it's weird walking in there sometimes. And whenever I'm in the middle of like doing something like take the dog out, or I'm in there cooking and cleaning or whatever, I'll walk into the living room and one of them has Roblox turned on and they're like playing some, Squid Games thing on Roblox, and both of them are all freaking out. I'm like, my children are playing video games. I'm so proud of them. But I'm trying to get them to that point of realizing like, hey, listen, there's more games than just these childish games that you'll get into later. And I was in the living room the other day playing God of War 3 Remastered, and I wasn't really even thinking about it, but I had my chair kind of set up by the TV, and I'm at the point to where Kratos pulls off Helios's head, and Helios is like, this killing me is not going to give you anything, and you're not going to be able to find this. And he's like, oh no, I can definitely use something. And he rips his head off, and then I like look over there to the right because I saw something, and Dante's just like staring at the TV. He's like, he ripped off his head, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, why did he do that? I said, well, he's pretty mad at them. So he's like, yeah, but
there was a disagreement.
It's a little bit of a disagreement. I mean, the gods lied to him and made him kill his wife and daughter. But yeah, so that's what I've been gaming. Been playing that recently. So please, guys, make sure to do me a favor. If you head on over to Spotify, tinyurl.com/Second Opinion Podcast, you'll be able to go directly to the Second Opinion Spotify page. Follow us right there. And also, of course, make sure to check us out at cineleaks.com, where we're going to have most of our news and reviews and so on and so forth. Before we get into the big part of the podcast, as I usually do on most of these casts now, please also help us and support the podcast. If you scan this little QR code right here, you'll go to popple.co, and you can actually use our custom code, Second Opinion Pro, by scanning this link and get you a Popple product. I'm telling you guys right now, if you're an upcoming content creator, if you're a business owner, or if you are someone that just works at a normal everyday job and you have social media as a really big part of your job, Popple is the way to go. It's the instant way of sharing your content. All you have to do is just tap it to the top of an iPhone or the middle of an Android, instantly share any links, any social media, or you can instantly share your Popple profile. So by using this QR code right here, you actually will save 20% on your order. So that is a fantastic product. I use it pretty much all the time. And then, as I said, scan this little code right here, and it'll take you directly to the Second Opinion podcast page, and show your support by giving us a follow. And I would highly, highly appreciate it. We're going to start doing a lot more of these shows in the coming weeks. So as I said, we got a good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about some really cool stuff. Before we get into our main two topics, we got this little topic right here that I am fairly excited about. Former CyberPunk 2077 and Witcher devs reveal a new game called DawnWalker. So this studio is pretty much formed all by former CyberPunk developers that all came from CD Projekt Red. The studio's name is Rebel Wolves. They did announce the other day that there is a new addition to their team. I can't even say his name. It's like Tamzakowski's. But he is coming on as the creative director for their newest project, which is called DawnWalker. So this game, DawnWalker, is a dark fantasy role-playing adventure, and it promises to be a masterpiece given the abundance of talent with the team. Its story-driven gameplay is sure to captivate players, immersing them in a world of fantasy and adventure. The studio has proudly announced that the game has already entered its alpha stage of development, with much more coming later this year. So I definitely am excited about this. The fact that they are all former CD Projekt Red devs, and that they had worked on games like The Witcher and CyberPunk. So Toaster, with that said, what do you think? I mean, do you think that we could possibly get another dark RPG that could kind of keep the track record that Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 gave us?
Why are they former devs?
Either they left.
I mean,
most of them left.
Not to be like a cynical asshole about it, but like, I feel like every time there's like a bunch of people that leave a studio and start a new studio, it's the same hype machine, and then it's like silence for years.
Yeah, I know, right? Well,
I mean, I like the Cyberpunk fan and the fan of The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 2. I never really played the first Witcher.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Burn me at the stake for that, saying that. I guess I'm not a true Witcher fan. Gatekeepers out there.
Burn you at the stake, bro. Like how many people can actually say I've been playing The Witcher since day one? Not many.
I don't.
Just saying, not many.
I mean, I'm excited because it's like, I think it's a really cool concept, but right now it's words.
Yeah,
they have an alpha build. This is this is out of this is first time you're hearing about it. Like, I don't know. I feel like, especially with the increase in how much games are starting to cost and the change in perception of some people about what it means when you buy something, but we'll get to that. I feel like you just have to temper your expectations. Like, on one hand, I'm excited because yes, it is a team of people that are responsible for two of my favorite games and two amazingly immersive worlds, now that they fixed one of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, give me something more than like a paragraph describing your dark fantasy game. Like,
Let me say this real quick. This is what the studio had to say about creating the studio. We decided to create our own studio to run it on our own terms. Chief among them, the team comes first always. Happy people make great games. Games players want and deserve. And yes, it is that simple. We are industry veterans, but we're hungry for more and wanted to create an amazing virtual worlds for you all to experience. Most of all, we wanted to share our boundless passion for video games. We know what players love because we're players ourselves. We are currently working on our own AAA title, blah, 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 blah. So the CEO of the studio is the CEO has 17 years of experience in the video games industry, from tester to lead to the executive producer and even game director. This guy, the CEO of the studio, was the game director of The Witcher 3, as well as a game director for CyberPunk 2077.
Yeah, but I mean that what you just read is basically the PR release for every new studio formed by
But
industry
look,
veterans.
I disagree. In that
And
perspective, we know. Look, this is what I'm getting
I
at
mean,
with
they
this.
like, dude, those are
I'm not trying.
lofty ideals, and I give them
I'm
kudos
not trying
for.
to give it a big hype train for a game that we obviously don't know a lot about outside of an image.
These like every studio, every like every dev house that we have come like personally me. All right,
Yeah.
I guess in my opinion,
Uh-huh.
it's the same exactly what you read, and I'm sure everybody's hearts and everybody's intentions are 100% in the right place, and as long as you stay an independent development studio and you have your own publisher in your in house, and you aren't relying on like EA or Warner Brothers or any of these massive publishing houses, then yeah, you can stick to those.
Yeah.
The minute you have shareholders and shit involved, all of that goes right out the window.
Hey, listen, I totally agree. But in that perspective too, that's in a perfect world. I mean, there's only so many massively successful AAA type of RPG games that actually take off that do not have a big third party publisher backing their game. So I don't see that happening at all. But what I'm getting at with this is we both know that CD Projekt Red did have issues. CD Projekt Red was run somewhat poorly by its CEO. CD Projekt Red has had many issues over the last few years, especially with the development of Cyberpunk 2077. That was one of the biggest fails at the beginning for them because of the crunch time.
And said this isn't going to run on PS4.
Do what?
They should have. I mean, that's like they should have. When that was shown at E3,
Yeah.
and people with a PS4 went, "Oh yeah, that'll run."
What was really bad is whenever we went to the CD Projekt Red room and walked in, I looked over at Bolts. I was like, "You see that big ass PC that was sitting behind the desk?"
They're running this thing, like two. What at the time would have been like 980s.
Now, listen, I will say this in that perspective.
Like an SLI'd for like two sets of like two videos, like 4 graphics cards are running that thing, and somebody on the couch at home went, "My PlayStation 4 will run that just fine."
I will say this. They got chastised for what they did. Phantom Liberty came out, and I think Phantom Liberty and the updates that they've done for the game since launch and stuff like that have definitely tempered a lot of that negativity, because Phantom Liberty is a fantastic DLC.
When I say that, my wife and I will laugh her asses off every time that Keanu Reeves shows up, because like he'll say the worst possible shit in the game.
Yeah,
like you should kick that dead baby and throw it in a dumpster. You're like, thanks, Keanu.
Thanks for saying that. But I don't know. I'm just excited about it because it is a dark RPG, and it looks like it has some type of vampire kind of aspect. I am glad to see that this game is already in its alpha setting, so maybe we're going to get some something big from it in the next 2 years.
I mean, at this point, it's gonna be your writing,
in
your story. I mean, I don't I don't know what else you could bring to the dark fantasy action RPG or turn-based RPG, or I don't know what you can bring that'd be new and revolutionary. I think like the graphics at this point, I mean, they're just going to get better and better and better. So, and it's going to be easier and easier to render stuff because now you can use AI to help you with that.
Yeah.
So I think it's really going to come down to how engaging and how large of a cohesive story can you write.
I totally agree, actually. I think a lot of it is going to come down to really storytelling. The biggest thing, I will tell you this, and I know Toaster's really going to hate me saying this. I have no desire of playing Baldur's Gate at all. Like, there's not one bit in me that that makes me want to play it. Like
I don't think it is for everybody.
Now listen,
I mean, I certainly sat for a long time on the fence on that. I didn't buy it until like 2 days before it launched.
Well, I have Bolts, that's been playing it, and he fucking loves it. Bro, you should play it. You should play it. You should play it. And I'm like, why won't you play it? I'm like, dude, it's just, I don't know. There's already so many different games out there that are on my backlog that either I bought personally and that I didn't ever really get to delve into, or games that I got to review that I had to rush through to get up to time that I didn't really get to spend a lot of personal time with. And yes, Baldur's Gate, it seems like it has a really awesome story. I've heard that it has some really comical moments. The graphics look fantastic.
Oh, dude,
but
there's spoilers. There's this moment where you meet Blacketh, which is Lae'zel. They get I mean, the premise of it, right? The characters and stuff like that. So Lae'zel's the Githyanki.
Yeah.
And you're standing in front of Blacketh, and all the other Githyanki are like, Neil, it's our queen. And Lae'zel's like, don't fuck this up, basically. So
yeah.
you should, and one of the options you could pick is wave politely. And when you do that, your character in the game literally goes like this. Every time I play the game, I literally,
that's what you choose.
I will do that just to see my character go. I mean, it's not for everybody. I am not a turn-based game fan, as you know. And that's, I mean, I sat. I was on the fence for so long, and every couple of weeks I'd ask a friend, "Hey man, do you have early access? What do you think?" I'd watch videos because I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, I love how prolific it's become. That's the one thing I, appreciate from COVID is everybody suddenly being like, I'm fucking bored. Let's play D&D. And now you have people who you're like, I lift things up and put them down, but I also play a barbarian with what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I think, the first time when I actually pulled the trigger on it, I was like, I'll see what it's like and I'll play for a little bit. And I think what sealed the deal for me is there's a moment where you're just walking and there's environmental hazards. There's grease and shit on the floor.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you failed your perception check and you've landed on your ass. And it's oh my God, this is literally D&D.
Yeah.
And that's why I became such a fan of the game. I still hate turn-based games. You will not see me play, and with the exception of Final Fantasy VII. And Sea of Stars, because that game's kind of cool. But for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of let me rephrase it. I'm not a huge fan of the turn-based games. And I think if you aren't a fan of turn-based in the first place, secondly, you aren't somebody that played Dungeons and Dragons or really had any interest in that kind of role-playing game, you're not going to like Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
You're just not. I mean, there are the co-op could be fun because then you can play your character and you can just shoot the shit with your friends. That's what me and Dunny do, and that's what I do with a couple of people from my World of Warcraft guild.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's especially now, when games cost $70 now or upwards to $100 now, it's you better want to play that game.
Yeah. And speaking of games cost and what they cost, that's what we're going to get into next is this new ideology that some that some people at Ubisoft have with video games. So the new Ubisoft Plus getting games the new Ubisoft Plus is basically supposed to be getting gamers comfortable with not owning their own games. So we're going to be discussing this new ideology on subscription basis, and it's nuts to me that this is something that is a kind of a more or less a for sure thing that most of these people, probably even whenever it comes down to people at Xbox and people at PlayStation or whatever, have thought about. So Philip Trimbali, director of subscriptions at Ubisoft, said, "We looked at the consumer behavior and how people were interacting with our offer, and we saw an opportunity, so we evolved from it. When we look at how gamers engage with our different games, we see that our back catalog is still very active and alive. So we saw an opportunity to offer these worlds to our consumers for a lower fee. There are multiple behaviors to look into. There are definitely a lot of people who come in for one game and then decide to buy it afterwards, and then the subscription ends. That's part of the reality with it, and that's okay with us. Um, we're talking day one releases with games like Prince of Persia. You'll get early access to these games. We've already had games like Avatar and Assassin's Creed Mirage come out on this service. All of these games are available to play day one by subscribing. And you don't get access to these games. You'll get you don't just get access to the regular games, you get access to the premium editions. So it's all added into the content with the subscription fee. But we do feel at this point, the point is to not force users to go down one route or the other. We make this offer to them. It is providing a way for them to get more comfortable with our subscription and more comfortable with not actually owning the game. Gamers are used to owning their games. That's the consumer shift that needs to happen.
If I gotta get
So,
used to not owning a game, they're gonna have to get used to me not being a fan.
yeah.
Like really, what are you bringing to the table, Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Assassin's Creed,
Hey, what's going on, Jake?
and maybe don't they
Mr.
do
Lujo.
they do the Clancy stuff too? Don't they do the Division?
Yeah.
I mean, Watch Dogs Legion, meh.
Bro.
Like
It's nuts to
there's
me.
a reason your old catalog is active because Assassin's Creed, the first one, is an amazing game. The Ezio series with Assassin's Creed was awesome, and then you guys got weird, like real weird. I mean, I like Odyssey, and Origins was pretty cool too, but at that point, like you literally just strayed from the concept of Assassin's Creed. With Odyssey, it's just like I am a giant Amazonian woman, or I am an angry Greek man, and I'm just gonna rampage my way across Greece.
Yeah.
You know, there was no like stealth. There was no, you know,
I mean, and why do you think?
and this whole like, no, fuck you. I paid you $70. That is my game. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is something they are going to have to figure out because I was sitting this on my couch the other night thinking about this. Like when I'm 90 in a retirement home and I want to play my PlayStation 5, you know, and I want to be able to play like Arkham Asylum or something in my shaky 90-year-old man hands, you know, like how are you going to verify whatever?
Well, now, mind you, I would think that by the age of 90, gaming is going to be much different. So I would think,
I don't understand this newfangled
instantaneous download. But look, the way I look at it is, he and many other um
no that's
he and
that's
many other executives and stuff like that with their comments and stuff based on the subscription basis. Yes, It is something that gamers are probably going to have to get used to because I will say on Ubisoft Plus, I have subscribed to it before. Ubisoft Plus is a good service, and almost every one of their games that you do get on day one is the premium version of that game. So you get the extra DLC stuff, you get all this other stuff. But unless you are subscribed to that subscriber basis, you don't get to play the game. It's not something that you can just be like, oh, well, I'm going to jump back in whenever I want to. The problem with that, though, is when you get consumers used to that perspective, are they going to be able to come back and actually play that game? Because we see other subscription bases like Xbox that many of these AAA titles that'll be day one Xbox games that are AAA titles. They're not an Xbox exclusive, but it's coming to Game Pass day one. Is it going to be on Game Pass forever, though? So that's the thing with Ubisoft. Are these games going to be on there forever? Are we going to be able to just go in and play whatever we want to, whenever we want to, if we're going to be on that subscription basis?
See, I think that's like the underside of the whole Games Pass subscription that isn't really talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, Games Pass is amazing. Anybody who tells me they own an Xbox or a PC, I'm like, get Games Pass.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just
it's so much better than PlayStation Plus. It's ridiculous.
Right. I mean, but at the same time, I think the whole there are games that Ransom or River City Girls. It's like the 16-bit beat 'em up that's like River City Ransom, except it's two girls going to rescue their boyfriends instead.
Yeah.
That's not on Games Pass anymore.
Yeah.
And I have it on my Switch.
Did you almost cancel Game Pass because of that? Because it wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, I was there was rage
beside myself.
I had to go to therapy. I was so upset. And I mean stuff like that, like one-offs. I don't really care about leaving Games Pass, but Starfield, I'm probably gonna get into that because it is a Bethesda game. So I'll probably buy it at some point.
Yeah,
I mean, I paid the extra $30 for the bonus content so I could play it early. So I mean, I get them taking off some stuff, but the whole idea of them pushing, if I don't own that content, then I'm not paying full price for that fucking game.
Yeah, exactly. And see, that's the one thing though too that worries me about these systems is that they can add in those type of little quims at any point in time. You know what I'm saying? Oh well, for now on, if you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus or Game Pass or whatever else, you get this and this and this, and every one of the game versions of the games now are actually going to be the gold ultimate edition of the game. But with that, we're going to have to go up in price. The price of it's instead of it being $17.99 a month, it's going to have to be $27.99 a month.
How Netflix went from $15 to $25 if you want 4K.
Yeah, if you want 4K, it has to be that. Another thing now, this is something that Netflix offers that honestly, I felt like an old ass man whenever I realized this. But through the mobile app of Netflix, there's a little section down here at the bottom now.
Mobile games?
And you can click directly on it and load in Netflix mobile games. So they actually have some fairly good games on there. And three of the big games that they're promoting right now is Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, and Vice City, the definitive editions.
Oh, geez.
So surprisingly enough, I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to try it and see what it runs like on my S23 Ultra. See if it runs good. Runs great. Looks just as good as it would on a console. So that is something that I could see them moving into. And me and Skelly actually talked about this on a really early episode of the podcast.
Was it the one where the Xbox One?
Yeah.
When I went off on the dude because he was like, you have to live. I'm still it's insidious.
Yeah.
Insidious.
Insidious.
There it is. Because that's what they've done. And they did it. It's so, this one dude took to fucking Twitter. Was it Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Or he said it at Yeah, he said it like E3. Like,
Yeah.
he said it the worst possible place to say it.
Yeah.
And of course, gaming media fucking blew up. Like, what the fuck,
course.
dude? Like, why would you say that? You know, like,
Yeah.
it's bullshit. Nobody wants that. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. You know, and then all of a sudden everybody was like, that guy's an asshole. We can't believe he opened his mouth. We shouldn't have never let him talk. He's been taken into a back room and Bill Gates hit him with a belt and a sack of sweet Valencia oranges. You'll never see him again.
Yeah.
And then slowly over the course of like 10 fucking years, what do we have? We're no longer complaining about online as a service.
Yeah.
We're no longer complaining about live service games. Everybody's playing Diablo 4.
Yeah.
You know, like cloud saves.
They're
Sorry. Like the fact that I can play whatever on any any console that I have that has the game, and I was stupid enough to spend money on it on more than one device. You know, I can load it up anywhere.
it's an ingenious system, you know. It honestly is. It is an ingenious system. And is that wait a second.
I thought we were getting crashed for a second. I was like, what's going on?
What is happening?
Jay comes stumbling in the fucking bowler shirt. You guys make fun of my shirt.
How dare you start a fucking podcast without me, you son of a bitch. I'm like, oh shit. No, so it is an ingenious system that they have in place. And the reason I say that is because of the way that some of these games are presented. Okay, so
like this looks super fun.
Yeah, this looks
I'm
super
not
fun.
spending $60 on a 2D side scroller though.
Exactly. So like I think that's the thing, is that it, visually, and the fact that it's a Prince of Persia game and it's a 2D side scroller and it's a return to Prince of Persia and all this other stuff. So that's a good advertisement for Ubisoft Plus, and say, hey, listen, we just came out with Assassin's Creed Mirage. We came out with a new Avatar game. And our newest game now is the 2D side scroller Return to Prince of Persia. That's a hack and slasher and blah, 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 blah. And if you pay $17.99 a month, you can play that game day one, so that's what they're going to be pushing. And that's also kind of cuts back to what you were talking about with like cloud saves and all this other stuff. That's what Xbox will always have over some of these other studios out there is I didn't even know that I had some of these games on cloud save. Okay. Let me say it like that. And whenever I got my Xbox Series X, I was like, I'm going to download this. And it's like, continue. I'm like, what do you mean continue? So I click continue. And it's like my last save from like 3 years ago. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
oh, dude, that's like when I pulled up when I got my Series X and I downloaded the Skyrim edition, and I made the mistake of like loading one of my first like saves from like when I first was playing that game.
Yeah,
and it was totally like that Gandalf meme that she's like, I have no recollection of this place.
Yeah, bro, that's honestly that's how I felt. I was
like
like,
the game loaded up. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing here.
Where am I going with this? Yeah, so that's honestly how I felt. I was like, what the fuck, man? But that's what Xbox has, bro. Xbox has that type of technology that you totally forget that you even have save data that's in the cloud. And then you load up an old game, you're like, man, I haven't played this in a while. And you got a save from one of your previous saves. So with Ubisoft Plus, they're going to have, you can get premium editions of games and stuff like that. But dude, like, I mean, I'm already fucking paying for Game Pass. I'm already paying for PlayStation Plus. I'm already paying for fucking Netflix. I'm already paying for this. I'm already paying for that. I'm already paying for all these other subscriptions. So, I mean, dude, you got to give me a better reason than just saying
such a
it's a premium edition of a game
podcast right now.
It is, bro. It is. It is. But in that perspective, that's a consumer-based kind of mindset that you have to have. Like, if you're saying that I don't have to pay straight up, $50-something to play some of these games day one, like what type of content are you going to continuously come out with that is going to make me want to play this? If there was a better kind of
They should do like a subscription plan that takes into account how many Ubisoft titles you own and give you a discount based on that to the subscription.
Bro, in that case, I'd be getting every fucking Ubisoft game for free. My God, bro. Like, I go on to, it's like when you log in, you know, the Uplay thing will connect or whatever else. And I have so many coins from doing shit that I didn't even fucking know. I'm like, what is this? So that's
I don't know where I got these coins from.
That's my thing with some of these services, dude. Like I gotta have a better reason outside of just saying, oh well, you know, the premium edition is going to be available day one. Because like why not? Why wouldn't Ubisoft just work directly with Microsoft or directly with Sony and Microsoft together and say, hey, let's bring Ubisoft Plus to PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass?
They did that for a little while.
They did. Now, mind you, listen, PlayStation Plus still has that, but it's Ubisoft Plus Classic. So it's like all their older games. You're not getting day one games. So there was a bit of a rumor going around that the new
Microsoft buying Bethesda, like Sony needs to fucking do something.
Well, they got to do something, man. They got to do something. I'm telling you. And like I keep on seeing all this news that Sony's still looking into acquisitions and Sony's still looking into this and that. And I'm like, dude, you got to do something. Because I'm going to tell you, I was going to do a video the other day that talked about these streaming services, and it honestly, like it talked about like I recorded the comparison towards like cloud gaming and all this other stuff and kind of what we're moving into. And, you know, one of those services that I was surprised by was PlayStation Plus on PC. So loaded in, logged in, and chose my game or whatever else, and played Infamous, played Heavenly Sword, played a bunch of different other games on there. Had no problem at all, no issue. The system that I did have a problem with through PC was Xbox Game Pass. I don't know why. I have no clue why. My internet is fucking fantastically amazing, but doing cloud-based gaming through the Game Pass or the Xbox app that is just like set. Oh, well, you know, play it through the cloud. Clicked on it, would not load. I mean, I sat there for 15, 20 minutes trying to get it to load. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, I reset the app. I even deleted it, re-downloaded it, nothing. So, but that's where I'm kind of getting into in that mindset that like, you know, I can have that accessibility. I can play games in the cloud on my Xbox Series X and on my PlayStation 5 or whatever else. But are these companies going to actually give me a reason to keep subscribing to this shit outside of just saying, well, if you don't subscribe to our service and you can't play online? You know, what is the benefit? If you're going to go up on the price, what is the benefit? Ubisoft, if you're going to go up on the price of this and you're going to make this a premium service that people need to get, don't just tell me, hey, bro, it's you know, you get the premium edition of our games. How about tell me, hey, listen, for the next 5 years, we're going to come out with Assassin's Creed titles. We're going to come out with Prince of Persia titles. We're going to come out with some really great online multiplayer aspect games that are going to be free if you're Ubisoft Plus subscriber. You know, give me some type of big incentive of why we should subscribe, and I'll subscribe. But just saying, oh well, you know, you get a couple of games day one. What fuck? I mean, dude, I'd rather just, you know, wait until it goes on discount. I'm saying, like, because you know, bro, like, you know, you're gonna end up like subscribing to this, or you're gonna get this game day one, and then you know it's probably gonna do really well. A lot of people are gonna love it, and then 6 months or 5 months down the road, it's gonna go on some fucking huge discount. It's gonna be $29.99,
or it's gonna show up on Games Pass,
or it's gonna show up on
like the Dead
Pass.
Space remake did.
You know, yeah, exactly. But that's my thing, though. Like, so do you think that with them pushing Ubisoft Plus, do you think that they're going to try to make it more of a premium thing and not bring these type of games to Game Pass?
I think if they were smart, I don't know. I feel like they should have stayed in the partnership with like how they're doing with the PlayStation Plus or you know, the Xbox Games Pass.
Yeah.
You know, roll it into Xbox Games Pass, charge me $3 more. Okay, I'm not gonna bitch about that.
Yeah.
You know, but I think, you know, if you're gonna charge a premium fee, Make sure your streaming's top notch if you're going to allow cloud streaming. B, the games that you put out, then you release, make them the, early access or whatever, the digital deluxe or whatever like that, make it worth the freaking subscription fee, or just bundle it in with the existing programs, and take your percentage points or whatever like that.
Yeah. Because it says, and this is where you and me, I think, align in that mindset, because it is very confusing the way they're doing Ubisoft Plus. In April of last year, Ubisoft Plus multi-access available now on Xbox. So it says Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft subscription service is officially available on Xbox game consoles through Ubisoft Plus multi-access. In order to take advantage of this option, Xbox users must be subscribed to Ubisoft Plus multi-access to connect their account, gaining access to the vast growth of the library and 10% off all in-game currencies. So how is that? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's not a Game Pass connectivity. That's just saying it's available. That service is available through Xbox. So they got to be pushing it like that, because all these Ubisoft titles, every one of them, I mean, pretty much all the big bangers over the last 10 years from them is all available through that. So they don't plan on bringing it. So I guess they're going to try to make it into its own big subscription service, but there's going to be a lot of gamers out there, I'm telling you, that are not going to want to have to pay for how much is Ultimate now for the year? It's like $129.
I just do monthly.
Yeah, I usually do monthly. I do 3 months most of the times, but I don't even know if they do the year anymore. I think they do 6 months at the most. But I think in total it's like $129 to $130. For PlayStation Plus, it's like $129 something dollars a year. And then if you're paying $17.99 for this, and I don't know, man. I just don't really see how somebody can weigh out, can I own this game and play it whenever I want to, or would I like to pay triple that amount just for this one game so I can play it and some other games that I may or may not want to play? You know what I'm saying?
I think Ubisoft's library isn't big enough to support its own subscription service. I think it should be bundled in with the PlayStation or the Xbox. And like I said, just kind of like what Sony needs to do with Spider-Man. Just shut up, stay in the back seat, and collect the money.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because, I mean, obviously, they're not going to buy a fucking studio. Come on. I need some acquisitions. Get to it. Moving on from that, kind of our last topic for the night.
I still just really brief with Sony. Whoever they hired to be their lawyer for that fucking if their CEO and their staff just kept their fucking mouth shut, they would have won that case. But when the judge is like, so we got to see Spider-Man on Xbox, and the guy's like, no.
No. Okay? It's not happening. It's never happening. And the guy's like, oh, really?
Okay. What about these other Sony? No. So you're saying that you...
hey, the guy sitting next to him, he works for some fucking news station.
He's like, just starts playing.
He's like, hey, will you hold this file for me? And it's like every top secret fucking thing that Sony's working on. He's like, you just want me to hold this? He's like, yeah, it's just on the desk. Everything that Sony was working on, all this shit that they were doing. My God. So Xbox Developer Direct is coming January 18th, and we got some juicy bits that are going to be shown off. So shortly after the broadcast, first off, ZeniMax Online Studios is going to host its Elder Scrolls Online 2024 global reveal for their big update for 2024. So a lot of people are pretty excited about that. I cannot get into that game. Listen, I can't either. Every time I sign in, I'm like, why are all these fucking people in my Skyrim? Bro, I'm so... This is make Skyrim an MMO. Just keep me away from fucking people. This is why I love Toaster, because me and Toaster have talked about this for so many years.
Remember the burrito video the dude did?
Yes.
What if you went to your favorite burrito restaurant and they're known for making the most amazing fucking burritos in the entire fucking world, and all you want is a beef burrito from this place because they're so fucking amazing? And you come in and they sit down and they go, have some wedding cake. And you're like, no, I just want the burrito. And they're like, but the wedding cake. He's like, this is how I feel about Fallout 76.
But that's so true, man. Because, like, listen, ESO, I will say this: ZeniMax, they've done a great job. They've got a really great community, and it's gotten even better with them being part of Xbox now. Same exact thing with Fallout 76. They've done a lot of building on it. It's got a really great community support. It's just not
WoW's
to
coming
me.
Games Pass, right?
Huh?
World of Warcraft is
Oh,
coming to
bro,
Game Pass.
listen. If I'm going to tell you this. I told you this originally when we talked at PAX 2013 when we were talking about Diablo coming on console and all that shit, Diablo 3 on console. And you were like, the game's going to be perfect on PlayStation. I'm like, why? You're like, because you can fucking roll. You can dodge. And I'm like, oh, okay. If there is a way that they bring WoW eventually to consoles, I'll lose my shit. I'll lose it, bro.
I told my guild I would become the like, if I could just lay on my couch with an Xbox controller in my hand and play fucking WoW, I would have every mount, every goddamn pet. I would know the middle names of every main character, and I would have every achievement in the game.
I'll lose it. I will lose it. But that's the thing about the ESO is, like, me and Toast are really big Elder Scrolls fans, like, love Elder Scrolls, but, like, I need localized. I just need like co-op. I need like two person, 3 person, maybe even 4-player co-op in Skyrim. That's what I want. I don't want to go to an area to take on some giant boss in first person and run up and see 7 people run by on mounts that are like 17,000 colors and all this other stuff, where I'm trying to like be engrossed in the story, and like I'll walk up to the character and then someone else's character walks up in front of me and they're like I'm like, get the fuck out of the way, bro. I'm trying to fucking focus on this game, and there's 17 fucking people running in front of me right now. Like, what the fuck is happening?
That's WoW.
Yes,
like everybody's standing on the quest giver. You're like, oh, I can see them in there.
But I feel it's different. I feel it's different with like WoW, and I honestly feel it's different with Diablo, because like when I play Diablo 4 and I run into people, it's more or less like for a long time it's just like me and Dara playing it, and we're taking on all these people, and then we walk up and I'm like, oh, look at that guy's a fucking monk too. Let's go over here and do this. Let's do this.
You get like run by help in Diablo 4. Like somebody be running through your screen. They're like, oh, that guy's getting his ass kicked. And they'll just come and help you murder some stuff, and then keep running.
And then
you don't have to engage. There's no like, yay.
Yes. I would be so fine with that in Elder Scrolls. I would be okay with that. But bro, this shit of like everybody just piling in, and I'm like, okay, I cannot engross myself in the story when it's like everybody's waiting on a fucking midnight launch in front of goddamn GameStop in fucking Oblivion. Like, get away from me. But anyways, with that said, I do think Xbox has been doing really great with that service, and it has a lot of good community support. But this Xbox Direct is going to be a really, really good, juicy one. So they're supposed to be showcasing Obsidian's Avowed. And they're going to be talking about the game. They're also supposed to be showcasing Senua's Saga.
It's Obsidian's giant middle finger to Bethesda.
Hey,
which I think is hilarious. Now that they're both
fucking think about it, bro. Like Obsidian came out with the Outer Worlds, and which was like, hey, we can make a fucking Fallout game, and then like, we can make funny, and we can make a fucking Elder Scrolls game called Avowed. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're buying Bethesda. Like, oh, shit. Okay.
We're going to make a massive world. We're going to put dragons in it, but we're going to have color in it, you fuckheads.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're coming out. They're showcasing a strategy game called Aria, The History Untold. And then lastly, what I'm fucking stoked about. We're finally getting news on the Indiana Jones game that is being developed by Machine Games. Oh my God, bro. I'm so fucking excited. It's going to be the first gameplay trailer for Indiana Jones by Machine Games. I am like, I'm head over heels. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Machine Games did such an amazing job with all the titles that they've worked on so far. And of course, Wolfenstein was just a fantastic
My
game.
only complaint with Wolfenstein is I feel the camera's too loose.
I agree with that. I agree with
Like,
that. My main complaint was, the third one, the third Wolfenstein. It just wasn't. It didn't feel the same as the first two. It wasn't.
Youngbloods?
Yeah, Youngbloods. It was about his daughters.
Is because you don't understand the youth of America today, Celeb?
I think so. Maybe that's
Is it because you just don't connect with the children anymore?
I think so. Yeah.
Can't understand their music or their slang.
I'm like, what is happening to my world? But yeah, I don't know about you, man, but are you excited about any of these games? I mean,
I'm excited about Avowed. I'm excited to see about Avowed. Like, I love Skyrim. And I think that's the thing that with what my problem with ESO is Skyrim has this like level of gravitas to it.
Yeah.
They're colored, like the color palette's very muted. Like, it's not a happy place. Like, nobody's like, I'm gonna go live in Skyrim for the rest. No, fuck that. Like, no. Like, you have these two factions that are warring with each other, and like either choice is an awful fucking choice. Like,
yeah,
I just didn't choose. I was like, you guys just fucking, I gotta go kill dragons. Like,
one wants everyone to kind of be together, and the other one's like, fuck them.
Yeah, like,
we're the Aryans.
Yeah, right. The Aryans. No, you guys go sort that out. I got bigger dragons to kill. So I'm excited to see Avowed. I hope they do a fine line of like not too cartoony, but not taking itself so seriously that it gets kind of depressing. I love Skyrim, but at times just like, man, it's such a bleak. Why would anybody fucking live here?
It's so bleak. It really is.
I'm stoked for Indiana Jones. I really like. I have been blinders on with that because I want to be surprised by the trailer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know about the Hellblade. I never played them.
Well, I will tell you this: if from what I'm seeing with Hellblade 2, it's supposed to be a lot more of a like engaging action style game compared to the first one. Because the first one, it was more of a mind fuck. Like, they told you, listen, you need to play this game with headphones. The audio system that we have set up in it will engross you a lot more than just playing it on your surround sound or your TV stereo or whatever. So I did, and it is a pretty intense game. But when I saw the technology that they've put in and the graphical representation of what they're going to have and all that, if it is a more action heavy game this time around, then I think I'll be a lot more excited for it than it being more of a kind of a, mental thriller. I think that's the reason why I haven't really jumped heavily. Like, I've got to go sit down and play Alan Wake 2 because like Alan Wake 2, yes, it's a great game. Yes,
you have to psychologically prepare yourself for Alan Wake.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I'm sitting there with fucking two kids, a 7-year-old and a about to be 5-year-old, playing Alan Wake 2, and they're like, oh, this is a little scary. And then there's a fucking naked ass dead guy walking around, like, with me being under the light. And Dante's like, he's naked. I'm like, yeah. He's like, bro, 3 days later, we're out in public around all these people. And I'm talking to this guy that I know about gaming and stuff like that. We're in Dante goes, yeah, Daddy was playing a real scary game. And I said, he was talking about Alan Wake 2. And he said, yeah, the guy was walking around and he didn't have a heart in his chest and his penis was out. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, dude. He's like, what were you playing? I was like, Alan Wake. And he was like, I promise you, I was not sitting there like, hey, watch this, son. You want to have fucking nightmares for the rest of your life? But I do agree with you. I think Machine Games is going to hopefully do something really special with Indiana Jones. I mean, they're really great studios. So I wonder if it's going to be third person,
because the movies just, I don't.
Don't tell. Hey, listen.
I haven't watched the newest one.
You gotta watch it, bro.
My wife won't let us watch the newest one without
Why?
watching the Kingdom Skull one, and I don't want to watch that one because that
Listen,
one's awful.
just push through Kingdom
I
Skull.
can't. Shia LaBeouf is
Let
fucking.
fuck it, Shia LaBeouf. He's an afterthought. The question is, why the fuck did they add aliens in it? Like, I remember going to the theater and walking out just super disappointed at the end.
Very confused. Alien?
And yeah, this dude looked at me and was like, I swear this is exactly what happened. The guy goes, man, that was awesome, wasn't it? And I was like, what? And he said, that was a great movie. I was like, you were okay with them adding aliens in Indiana Jones? And he was like, I mean, the Crystal Skull. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. It's fucking awful.
You
horrible.
like literally destroyed an Ancient Alien fan's life. Like,
Dude,
he went home so upset
he was
that
just
you were
mad.
not a fan of George Chisakias and his hair.
He was just looking down at the table like, I mean, he didn't like aliens? No, man, I'm telling you, the latest Indiana Jones movie is a perfect send-off for Harrison Ford, and was such a great return to form of what Indiana Jones is really about. Now, there is some crazy shit that happens in the movie, but it is a really good return to form of like what Indiana Jones, the original series, was really about. You know what I'm saying? But I think you would really like it. My brother finally sat down and watched it and was like, dude, I was totally wrong about it. So he kind of held off on it, but I think that they're going to do great. I think that that they're going to showcase. Hopefully we do see those two things. Hopefully we see a great gameplay trailer for Indiana Jones. And I would really love to see some in-depth details on Avowed. Hopefully Xbox does a great job of showcasing that. I would really, I mean, as long as Avowed has been in works for what? 5 years now,
Yeah.
4 years.
What t-shirt you think Spencer's going to be wearing?
If he's wearing a Hexen t-shirt,
He already did the Hexen t-shirt.
I know. I don't know. What do you think? Probably be some Activision shit. Like the next fucking Call of Duty or something. I'm like,
no, it's what are some of the classic Blizzard games?
oh man, what was the one with
he comes out with like the Ghost t-shirt on and everybody starts freaking out because of a StarCraft MMO.
What was that Blizzard game that they came out with, and it was like fucking gnomes or something like that, or
Lost Vikings?
Lost Vikings. I wouldn't mind seeing another Lost Vikings game. Blizzard titles. Yeah, Lost Vikings for sure. And I you know, it's really not out of the realm to see him walk out with a Candy Crush shirt on. So they're moving in. They want to move into mobile games. So that's one of the big I think that's the main reason why Xbox bought Activision. It wasn't about Call of Duty and all that other stuff. It's about moving into the mobile aspect of things, bro.
Oh, yeah, but still, they have the Call of Duty franchise.
Yeah,
they've got Diablo, World of Warcraft, which, let's face it, I mean, yeah, the engine on that's lost a little bit of steam, but Chris Metzen coming back and him basically acknowledging the fact that it seems like he completely acknowledged the fact that most of the World of Warcraft player base at this point in time are all adults with kids and busy lives.
Yeah.
And he was like, so we're going to do all this to make it easier for you, you know? That's a free $15 a month from every single person that subscribes to WoW, and on top of the cosmetic fucking things that even I have fallen victim to purchasing. But you know what? You'll never see me writing an article. Hey, these microtransactions suck. No, yeah, because you bought that pink flamingo dress, buddy. That was on you. You didn't need that to finish the game, did you? You didn't get to the last boss and they're like, you're not wearing a pink flamingo dress. Game over.
Yeah.
That's something Ubisoft would do.
I think the main reason why I'm getting in the perspective of like what King has done as a company, the owners and creators of Candy Crush. Think about it like this.
Wait, is Candy Crush an Activision thing too?
Yes. I was being serious.
Oh.
They bought it for real. Think about this. They bought it because, bro, Xbox has always talked about they want Xbox everywhere. Okay. Eventually they want an Xbox. They want to work with Samsung and get an Xbox app to where you can just play games directly on your Samsung television. They've already done tests with. They want it to where anybody that's on their phone, the latest phone that comes out, they want to be able to just download the Xbox app, play your games on your phone. Mind you, in 2022, Candy Crush pulled a total of $1.5 billion. And 2023, they pulled $470 million. And it wasn't even really a big active year for them. So all that money now is being siphoned into Microsoft. So there's really not a reason why in the next 10 years we can't see a total kind of turnaround of what Phil Spencer and what the Xbox Forum has always wanted to be, and that's to have Xbox everywhere. That's what they want,
Yeah.
So that's why everyone's freaking out about this new rumor that Xbox is eventually talking about moving into the rumor mill of being a multi-console studio, because they're talking about moving some of these Xbox games to Nintendo Switch. There's these insiders that are talking about how some of these older Microsoft titles are going to move to different consoles and all this other stuff or whatever.
Well, I mean, there's been talk, there's been talk for a couple of years now of Games Pass appearing on the Switch.
Yeah.
And that even came up, I think, in the court battle between Microsoft and Sony, where Microsoft was like, well, fuck, we'll let you have Game Pass. And Sony was like, you don't want it.
Yeah.
Which,
and bro, you know how big of a win that would be for Microsoft if Sony's like, okay, just put Game Pass on PlayStation.
But then again, I mean,
it would be weird.
It would be weird because
it was already weird.
You know what? Part of me, I want to see that happen, because then you know what happens? That drives console innovation.
Yeah, it does. It literally, you have to. Instead of focusing on if you
got rid of this exclusives bullshit, and just people bought the console they wanted, or I mean, at this point, if you can, you're a 2-console household.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've already seen these. It's already weird enough to get on Game Pass and play something like MLB The Show and see the Sony logo pop up, or get onto PlayStation and play Minecraft and see the Xbox logo pop up.
The fact that you can play fucking Sega Genesis games on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And you get that Sega, and you're like, no, it's happening. Nintendo. What the fuck?
Yeah. Speaking of Sega, I mean, they're doing a big comeback this year too, man. 2024.
Golden Axe remat. What was it? Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi.
Yes. Jet Set Radio.
You were getting an Altered Beast. That was the first Genesis game.
Dude, listen to me. Please, God. And the gaming gods of the universe, please bring Altered Beast. Please, my God.
I really wish they'd get Symphony of the Night on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, man. Yeah, me too.
They have every other Castlevania game except that one.
Yeah.
And that one's fucking awesome.
But with that said, I mean, I think we're both pretty excited to see really what develops at the Developer Direct. And later this week, we're going to have another show. If Toaster and Skelly are down, we're going to live stream it and have my boys back. I mean, especially since we're all old man. I'm going to try to see if I can find a different hoodie to wear this time around. Maybe wear some pajamas. But
slowly sip on a cup of chamomile tea.
I do appreciate you, Toaster, coming on tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, sir.
Yeah, fantastic show. Make sure to do me a favor, head on over to Cineleaks.com, check us out over there to see some of our latest and greatest news and previews. Some of the latest reviews that we have up now. Dustin reviewed the PlayStation Portal. Becky reviewed the latest Ubisoft title, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. And I think Gabriel reviewed one of the newer movies, The Beekeeper. From
what I understand in that movie, if you're a Jason Statham fan and you like fighting, then you're gonna probably like that movie.
Then you'll probably like it. Yeah, for sure. But It is that time. So please do yourself a favor and head on over and make sure to follow the show on Spotify. Support us. Give us some support by following. Also, you can head on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there. Subscribe to the Cinelinks YouTube channel if you're watching it over there. Or do yourself a favor and subscribe to my homie, Tosha McGee. Follow him on Twitch, which some people should be watching it over there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you follow me on Twitter, I'm very opinionated. Just a heads up.
Thing. That's a good thing. But this is Second Opinion Podcast, episode 352. Signing off. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.
Later.
I'll just sit here.